If you're over 50 and training for an Ironman, there's a really good chance you're actually getting slower, not faster. And you know what the frustrating part is? You're probably training just as hard, maybe even harder than ever before. So what actually is going on? In a moment, I'm going to explain why this happens, and I'm also going to explain what you need to do to change. But before we go any further, I need to talk about the elephant in the room, because I know that some of you are thinking, well, you're over 50, of course you're getting slower, because it's just the aging process. And yes, at some point that is true. You cannot be aging forever. But here's the important thing. Most of the athletes are not losing performance because of age alone. They're losing performance because the training hasn't adapted. In your early 50s, you can absolutely still get faster. In your late 50s and your 60s, you can slow that decline significantly, but only if you train differently. If you don't, then yes, it will feel like age is the problem. So in this video, I'm going to break down the key reasons this happens, and I'm going to explain a little bit on how to fix each one. Here's the problem. Most athletes assume that if they train more, they'll improve. Same as if they train harder. And that does work for a while. But after 50, the rules change. And if you keep training the same way, you always have, you don't just plateau, you actually start going backwards. So there's several reasons for this. The first is loss of strength. We lose muscle mass from our mid-40s onwards, but after 50 it gets much more real. So if you're not actively working against it, you're going to get weaker every year. And that's particularly poignant for endurance athletes. And that shows up everywhere. Power on the bike, your running economy, and your ability to resist fatigue. Number 2, recovery. Yes, you can still train hard, but older bodies just don't recover as quickly. So any poor decisions you make will tell. And what used to be a solid training week now becomes accumulated fatigue. Training intensity. Now this is critical, and it happens to athletes in all ages, but especially in the 50s, tend to drift into a state of moderate training. Not hard enough to improve, not easy enough to recover, and you slowly lose that top end. Number 4, too much volume. Now this is a big one. You try to train like you did in your 30s. You do more hours and more sessions, and you think that if I do more volume, that's better because I won't get injured. But you don't have the durability to support it. So critically, what we need to do to improve is we need a mindset shift. The athletes who do improve in their 50s, they don't train more, they train smarter. So here's what you need to do. Focus on strength training, eat more protein, target high intensity work, focus on better recovery and quality over quantity. Now the good news, you can still improve over 50 years of age, but only if you accept that the rules have changed. And if you ignore that, you'll keep working hard, but you'll be getting slower. So let me know in the comments below, does any of this sound familiar to you?